living with someone before getting married is so much better.
Yeah, I think we need to fully understand who the person is before making such a big decision in your life.
There are times when I want to kiss a girl.
It doesn't bother me. I see human beings, love is love, and if you've dated some girl before, I totally accept that.
I think we're just practicing and letting things be, right, when it comes to kids.
I think it's also growing on you. I think it's growing on you.
I have had a little baby fever lately, yeah, for sure. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast, Chiquis and Chill. Today, I'm joined by one of my favorite people in the entire world, my boyfriend, Emilio, and we're going to get really personal today. We're going to talk about how our relationship has evolved, and we're also going to address a topic that's been brought up quite a bit. So if you want to hear more, stay tuned. This is Chiquis and Chill. Sitting here with me right now is my love, Emilio Sanchez. He's a super talented photographer based in LA who has worked with everyone from Becky G to the late Kobe Bryant. And for those of you who don't know, he's also photographed me a bunch of times, including my book cover, Unstoppable. And also for my album, Abeja Reina. Hi, my love. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I wish you guys could see him. He looks so nervous right now.
I'm good.
But you've been on here before. You've been on here. It's me.
Yeah, and I love talking to you, so.
Yeah, he does, you guys. That's one thing I can tell you. Emilio is very good at communication. And yes, the first time you were on, we talked about our new relationship and the 7-year, age gap. And today we're going to give listeners a little update on how things have evolved and progressed. And I want you to be completely honest and how you feel. This is like an open space. No one's listening. It's just you and I.
Copy.
And we're also going to talk about how you feel about me, being 15, 20%, lesbian, because that's been a topic that a lot of people, have been wanting to know about, me liking women and how you feel about it. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So before we get into it, I want to give everyone a bit of context, a little background, not too much because we did an entire episode already on it. But for those of you who haven't listened to that episode, shame on you, go listen to it. We've been dating for about 2 years and 3 months?
Yes.
And yes, we live together. A lot of people, I think, have that question. How long have we been living together, babe?
November of our first year.
Yeah, it's been November. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It happened fairly quickly, you guys. But I don't know. It just kind of happened, right? Like, we didn't really talk about it. I just wanted him to come over and a lot. I'm like, oh, what do you mean you're not going to spend the night tonight? And then I'd go to his place. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel like we had our healthy space in the beginning. And then the situations that came in our lives brought a new opportunity. And I feel like we kind of got funneled into this new position in our life. And it led to us starting a new journey together. And that's how I saw it.
Mm-hmm. I think we both were just on the same page. We both had been in pretty emotionally heavy relationships, right? Without talking bad about anyone. But I think we were both very honest from the beginning. And he was very open as to what he wanted, what he didn't want. And so was I. And it just happened, you guys. I'm telling you, the day I met him, I had taken my IUD out, which is birth control. I had told myself, you know what? I'm going to be celibate. I'm not going to date. And if I date, I'm not going to have sex. I just had this whole idea in my mind. And I'm telling you, the universe and God had something different because that day because I had already met him before, a few months before, 8-9 months before. But that March of 2021, I don't know. There was just this click. I can't even explain it. And ever since then, I can count the times that we haven't been together. We've been together and spent more time together than we haven't, right? In these past 2 years.
Yeah, but it's also we enjoy it so much. And I think that's also a reason why we moved in so early, was because we love the feeling that we made each other feel. And it's this is what I want to be around.
Mm-hmm. You gave me a lot of peace, for sure. And I hadn't felt that in a long time, sleeping next to someone and just being at peace and feeling safe. I hadn't felt that, I think, ever, to be honest. So when I felt that, it was just I got addicted to that feeling. Now I have a question. I don't think I've ever asked you this. What did your mom think about us moving in so quickly, or your grandma, who we call Ama? She's the best, by the way.
well, Ama was the one that was like, don't get rid of your spot. Don't just move in. Because if she kicks you out, and then you're not going to have anywhere to go. And I was like, all right, Ama.
Well, his Ama was a little hesitant, a little worried about us dating because of everything that she had heard and seen on TV, you know, like for a long time. All these programs, these Spanish programs just didn't really know me. And I think perceived me in a certain way or made me put me in a different light. So when I met her, like her and I are like best friends. We love each other now so much. But I think she was worried for him, which is probably why she said that, which makes sense. And by the way, he still has his place. He still has a place in downtown. He works out of there and, you know, but yeah, we live together full time. That's just what it is, guys. And I'm fine with that because I'm sure a lot of people are like, okay, why not get married first and then live together? I think living together personally, this is my personal opinion, living with someone before getting married is so much better, I think, right?
Yeah, I think we need to fully understand who the person is before making such a big decision in your life. And it gives us the space and time to really get to know each other and see if it can work and how it can work and what we need to do to make it work.
Yeah, I don't regret it at all. If anything, I think it's been pretty awesome. And of course, it was a little, not uncomfortable. What's the right word? It was just, we had to get adjusted. You know what I mean? Like there's certain ways that I want things and I'm very anal. I'm very particular. But he is a type of partner that wants to learn and so do I. So it's like, okay, if I tell him, hey, I don't like this or can you do this? He'll do it. Like we're both pretty good with that, right? Like if there's something, like you've told me, I'm not trying to speak for you, but like you've told me, like if I tell you I don't like something, like I'm pretty good with fixing it.
Yes, yes. That was something that surprised me, that you were very responsive to whatever I told you. And it might not sit with you well or as easy in the beginning when you first hear it, but then once you're able to digest it on your own, then you show me pretty quickly, you know, with the weeks after that, after I tell you, I see changes, I see improvements, I see the effort. And that's, to me, is the biggest thing.
Well, thanks. I try, you know, I'm trying. I really am because I don't think I'm controlling, right? It's not that. It's more of like I could be a little set in my ways sort of thing in certain things. Yes, I admit to that. And he's taught me, and through therapy as well, that a relationship is all about compromising. And even if the things feel uncomfortable to you, it'll feel better together, if that makes sense. Because I guess in a way, I've been a little bit of a fine, this isn't working, I'm bye, you know, and that comes from what I saw growing up. It's kind of like, okay, next, you know, and that's not okay. A relationship is work. It's work every single day. It's you choosing that person and also being willing to see, hey, I have things I need to work on. I have things that I have to be better at, you know, just communication. You've lived with someone else before, right, babe? Tell our peoples.
Yes. It wasn't as permanent as this. This is like the first time where it's like, this is our living situation. And before it was more temporary. So, but having another person in your space, in your home, it does change things.
And what do you feel, in your opinion, like are the challenges of living together, like you and I?
I think it's just having to be open about how someone else likes things and figuring out what those things are, what's important, what you like, how you like things done, and also expressing what I like and how I like things done as well, and just talking about those things. It's something that you can't really plan out. We can't be like, this is the plan for us to make this work. It's something that you have to experience, and things are going to come up, emotions are going to come up, and it's like we have to find out why those emotions come up and what I can do on my end to help. Again, it's compromising and working with each other to make those things work. And I feel like we do a pretty good job at that.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that because I don't really have to tell him, hey, can you do this? It's very, very rare. I cook and he washes the dishes. He loves to vacuum. He makes the bed. Like it's fairly, I don't know. I don't want to say easy, but it kind of has been where even if there's something that bugs me, you know, like for instance, he's not a messy guy, but he kind of leaves like his clothes just, you know, on the other side of the bed. He takes off his pants and his socks and he just leaves it there. And like there are times when I pick it up and then there are times when I'm just like, I'm just going to leave it there. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm not going to argue. I'm not, whatever. He's a grown ass man. But I got to pick and choose my battles. I'm not going to like cause a fight over something so like minimal. But other than that, I mean.
Yeah, I'm really trying to think of like the things that I don't like that you do around the house.
Yeah.
And I honestly like, I can't really think of anything. Nothing comes to mind. I'm like, you're on it. You're on everything. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. I mean, I don't cook as often as you'd like, maybe, because I know that's one thing that Johnny wishes I did, like cooked a little bit more. I love when you cook. Like when I know you put your bandana on and you go in the kitchen and I'm like, okay, it's about to go down. Yep.
That's that.
That's how they know in the house. I put on my bandana, but I'm gonna get shit done. I want to talk a little bit, just a tiny bit, because we have so many things we got to talk about. But it's crazy to me, you guys. Emilio's going to be 31 soon, and he's very mature for his age. I never thought, and I had told myself from my previous relationship, I'm not going to date anyone younger. I want a 45-year-old man who has been married and divorced and has kids. And I had this whole other idea, I'm telling you. God said, wait a minute, hold your horses. I'm sending you this young guy who's very mature, very wise, is going to teach you quite a bit. And is going to put your ass in your place. And it's Emilio. But you guys, he was kind of like a low-key fuckboy before me. Yes or no?
Sure. Yes. 100%.
Yes. And I can't freaking believe it, you guys. Like when he tells me some stories and how he was, I'm just like, what? I can't even imagine it, you know? But the beautiful thing about him is that he says, I was this way and I'm not proud of it. I feel really bad. I hurt a lot of girls. And I appreciate that. I don't get jealous. If anything, I'm like, that's very nice of him to say, fuck, if I couldn't go and apologize to these girls that I hurt, I would. You know, but he also, you see it as what, babe? Like, you explain it.
Absolutely. That's something that I tell myself a lot these days is I'm glad everything happened when it happened. I'm grateful for the pain that I went through because it wouldn't have made me who I am today. Mm-hmm. I hurt a lot of people. I was hurt by people. And it pushed me to a point where I was searching for why am I unhappy still? Why am I unhappy in every situation that I'm in? And I always went and looked for this like magic pill that was just going to make everything better. And I realized that what I was looking for is I had to look within myself, inward. And I think I avoided that for so long, or I also didn't know the techniques on how to do that. And when I met you, I had the biggest drive to be like, I have a clean plate here. What can I do to make sure that everything that has happened before doesn't happen again? And that starts with myself, my insecurities, my bad traits that I have, any behavioral patterns that follow me. And I just decided it was time to stop running from those things and really dig deep and, change.
And do you think it was because you were ready as a man to have that in your life? Or was it because you met me or was it a little bit of both? Maybe, I don't know. Do you think you would have been the same guy now if it was another girl, for instance?
Yeah, that question, I don't know. I feel like, again, I tell you this all the time. I feel like we were really meant for each other. So that just comes with that. But even in my 20s, even when all the pain was happening, in my heart, I always knew what I wanted to be. I know deep down I'm a good person. I have good intentions. I just didn't know how to express that with people. Then when I met you, I was at a point where I'm like, I was so desperate for something new and something to change. And then you also made me want to, basically, I asked God to help me with the problems that I had. And he's not going to just say, hey, you're fixed. He's going to give you a situation where you're tested and be like, okay, you have insecurities. I'm going to give you the woman that's going to make all of those insecurities come out. And it's up to you what to do with that.
Oh my God.
And it was, our first year emotionally was really hard because I was very uncomfortable with a lot of things.
Because of my career, right?
Just with everything. Just you as a human being. It could be career things. It can be day-to-day things. It just opens up a door to be able to work on yourself. And thankfully he brought a woman into my life that I've been able to go through that process with. That's helped me a lot. I know the work is on my end, but you have supported me at my weakest. You're there for me.
And you have been there for me as well. And this is, I think we talked about this a little bit before, but I have also had to work on insecurities, you know, and people have asked me, how do you feel about Emilio taking pictures of beautiful women? And, you know, they say all these things about photographers. And I'm just like, I also am in a different place in my life where I'm just like, I know who I am, but also you make me feel very safe. From the very beginning, you guys, I never asked for his location. He gave it to me himself. We have each other's locations, each other's passwords to our phones. Like, it was just very different. Like, it wasn't, it was pulling teeth. And because of it, like, it just, I don't know. It's just different. I think the first time, like the first week we started dating, I was in Guadalajara. Then you had to go to, where did you go with Stilo?
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. And there was a bunch of girls in thongs, big booty bitches on the boat. I told myself, I was like, I have to work through this. Like, I cannot be that toxic girlfriend. I don't want to be that. Not if anything, I didn't want to like even pretend to be different with him. I just didn't want to feel those things anymore. And sometimes they come up, I'm not going to lie, but then I'm like, you know what? No, like I have to be confident in who I am and in the man that I have. And sometimes we torment our mind so much with what could happen that we're not living and enjoying the moment. And I used to do that so much. Like, oh my gosh, well, what is he doing? Again, my past relationships, very different. I didn't feel that peace that I feel here. But I know that we've talked about it, like things that have made you feel insecure about my career, things that make me feel a little insecure about yours. But we communicate. And I think that is the biggest difference in this relationship, is that we're very honest and we take care of each other's feelings, I think.
Yes. And also a big key to that is that we don't judge each other. Because when insecurities come up, it's so easy to be like, oh, you're insecure, you're this, and shame that person. And we don't do that from that place. We are here for each other and be like, I know I can be like, hey, this bothers me. And I know that you'll listen to me and hear me out on why. And then also help me in the process of getting me to process that insecurity to where it's not a problem anymore. And we work through it together. And I think that's one of the biggest keys to the success in our relationship.
For sure. And you're much better with that, to be honest. There are times when you say things bother you and I get upset like initially, but then I'm like, no, wait, I have to put myself in his shoes. I have to understand. I take a little longer to process things, guys, but now I feel like I'm quicker and I'm a little more open to it. At first, I was kind of like, what the fuck? This is my job. This is what I got to do. Like, now I'm like, wait, this is a person that's important to me and I have to figure out how to make this work because he makes me happy. And it can't just be, well, this is my career. Yes and no. So I have worked through that with my therapist and you have been very patient and I appreciate that because again, I am a little bit more stuck in my ways, but I'm very proud of myself. I have gotten better. He said it, guys. One thing that has helped a lot is we've been microdosing together. We started microdosing together with psychedelics for how long, babe? It's been 9 months now?
Yeah, it's been a little while now.
It's been a while.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel like it's changed us as individuals and as a unit. We try to stay on the same schedule with microdosing because it's every 2 to 3 days that we do it.
Yeah.
And we pray together and stuff. And I think that helps that we're on the same page, on the same frequency.
Yeah. And something about that too, it's not just that we're taking this pill and it's making us better. It is the praying. It is setting our intentions. I like to do it on the same schedule as you so that to me, it makes us feel more connected. And if we set our intentions together and we pray and we do our little ritual and give each other a kiss, like to me, that makes me feel like, hey, my partner's here on this healing process with me. To me, that's everything.
Yeah. And just for people that don't know what psychedelics are, they're basically mushrooms. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard that, oh my God, you hallucinate, you see things like this is microdosing. We take very little and it's more of like medicinal purposes, healing purposes that we do it. It's not to like go out and party and get crazy. Like it's very different. That's why how Emilio said, like we set our intentions. And I always say, just make me the best version of myself. Help me become a better person all around, a better partner, and for us to be connected. And it's given us a lot of confidence. I feel like in the relationship, I don't know, I just feel very different since I've been doing it. And it's helped that I've done it with him. But it's not like we're out there doing drugs together, you guys. You know, this is very different. So I always say, research it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for microdosing for me has been that it makes me more present during the day. So it doesn't give me
Yes.
any room in my head to overthink things, to have anxiety, to have depression, because I'm so present. And when you're present, I'm just so, you're grateful when you're in the present moment, and we get to enjoy each other.
Yeah, for sure. He believes in the power of now. He actually has it tattooed on his, what is it, your wrist or your arm, babe? Right? Yeah. Yeah. And that's a book, you guys. Read it. The Power of Now. It's such a good book. And the crazy thing is that we had both read it, obviously, way before we met each other. And that's what it is. Like, I think we both understand like the power of now, like living in the present and how important that is. And that's what causes, I've talked about this a lot. What causes anxiety, you guys, is worrying about something that hasn't happened. And what causes depression is something that you're stuck in your past. So that's the thing. I think that what makes our relationship work so well, despite, the
7-year gap.
Yes, the 7-year gap. Thank you, sir. So I think despite all of that, I think it's just the fact that like we're both wanting to just be better individually and then together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me happy. So another thing that we need to talk about, I got a question. I don't know if I told you on Dear Chiquis. Some girl, she was really nice about it. She's like, girl, I saw you on the Snow podcast and you were just flirting with Snow and all this stuff. Don't you have a boyfriend? Does he get mad and all this stuff? And I've gotten a lot of questions like that. And I was like, wait a second, I'm going to bring Emilio on because we need to talk about this. And again, I have been so open with this man from the very beginning. That's another choice, something I had never done before, where it's like, hold up, I've been through some shit. I don't want to go through it anymore. So something has to change within myself and how I approach a relationship. So I was very honest with Emilio from the beginning. Any question he asked, I was like, yes. I'm always asking questions, and he's not that he's not open, but he's just like, why are you asking about my ex-girlfriends? Like, what do you like? And he's right. We shouldn't, you guys. It's not, we should not open up that kind of worms. But I'm just very nosy. But anyways, I told him about me having a girlfriend when I was 23. I had a girlfriend. I'm like, there are times when I want to kiss a girl. And he was actually with me when I went to someone's podcast. No, her Twitch. Was it her Twitch, babe? Mm-hmm. Leslie, DJ Leslie. Yeah. And we kissed. And I had already kind of like told him, hey, so he knew what he was walking into. And he saw when we kissed and everything. It wasn't like a tongue kiss. It was just like a cute little peck. She kissed me, but I let her. And how did you feel?
I thought it was cool. We were having fun. We were there having a great time. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Like it, mm-hmm. I see human beings, and love is love. And if you dated a girl before, I totally accept that. I don't sit here and worry like, oh, what if she comes and leaves me for a girl? And it's the same thing as you coming to me and telling me you're leaving me for a guy. It makes mm-hmm. no difference. It doesn't make any difference. You've been very open about it, and it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, if you came to me one day and be like, hey, last night I made out with this girl, and like that's...
We fingered each other.
I know you wouldn't do that without talking to me about that first, or be like, right. Hey, this is the situation. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just part of our communication. I don't think you would ever do anything to step out of line like that to where it turns that situation into a bad thing. Again, in a relationship, as long as there's communication about anything and both people agree and if both people are open to it, it's free game, basically.
You guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Chiquis and Chill. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow with part 2 of my chat with Emilio. It's a conversation you're not going to want to miss. Love you guys. Besos. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and check us out on YouTube.